30 minutes because there won't be any questions, obviously.
There we go. Yep, that's all recording.
Fantastic. Good stuff. Thank you, Toby, very much for setting that up. And thank you if you are watching this recording. I'm going to share my screen and we'll get started. Good stuff. Okay, so today we're talking about leadership and management opportunities in the NHS with regards to the apprenticeships that BPP offer. My name is Simon Easton. You can see my name and details on the screen there. Don't hesitate to contact me. My email is very straightforward, simoneaston@bpp.com. And you are welcome to contact me if you have any questions at all, as you see anything that sort of sparks your interest. And I will share this deck with Toby and Heidi at Somerset, and they'll be able to share it with you as well, so you can go through it as you see the presentation. As I say, Simon Easton, Strategic Client Partner. I only work with the NHS, and today, as you can see, we're talking about ODM, Operations Departmental Manager, Level 5 apprenticeship, and the Team Leader Supervisor, Level 3. And you'll notice they both come with an additional NHS leadership program, Mary Seacole and Edward Jenner, respectively, and I'll talk a little bit about that as we go. So today, I'm going to, in case you're not sure who we are, I want to give you a couple of seconds on that, who BPP are as an organisation. Then, very quick snapshot on what are apprenticeships. Now, Toby and Heidi can obviously give you their take in terms of the internal activity and what the rules and regs are in Somerset, but I'd like to make sure that you all understand what an apprenticeship is, because they have changed a lot since back in the day when it was a plumber or there's a lot more professionalism involved. I'm going to talk about the two programs you can see there. I'll talk a little bit about the delivery of the programs, and then what happens next in terms of start dates and so on. Okay, so BPP. We have been around over 40 years, so about 45 years now, and since 2007, we've been a fully accredited university with degree awarding powers. What does that mean? Is we are measured and quality assured by Ofsted and multiple other organisations. So we do take great pride in the fact that we've got an Ofsted good rating, and basically we are making sure that everything we deliver is of a very high quality, and we get great learner experience as well, hopefully. And as you can see over there on the right, on the what we call the wheel, on the outside circle, you can see these are the areas where we deliver programs as an organization. So we're multifaceted in the fact that accountancy and tax was the starting point 45 years ago, but we've now added financial services, leadership management, which is what we're talking about today. Nursing, very big in nursing and the whole of the NHS. And also, as you see on the right there, data and technology, increasingly important and really fundamental to every organization. And we do include data analytics skills in a lot of our programs. So you will come across some of that within these two programs. If you wanted to get into any of these other areas, by all means, ask me. And particularly on the data side, we've got a whole raft of programs, so let me know. But as you see, 25,000 professionals trust us every year, and 90% of the FTSE 100 companies come through our doors as well. So and over 100 countries in the world globally. So we're a global organization. These are the types of organizations that trust us with their training, and I'm sure you're very familiar with a lot of those. I give too much money to Starbucks, and I probably give too much money to Asda because their pizzas are quite cheap but quite nice. I've never given any money to Porsche, I have to say, mainly because their starting point is quite high. So these are global organizations, and there are more, and this is just a small snapshot, but we also work with the NHS. Over 130, I think it's probably 140, 150 NHS trusts now we're working with at some point in the other. You can see Somerset, your logo's down here at the bottom right. This is just a sort of a plethora of organisations that we work with. We work with many more as well, and we're really proud of that. And with NHS England was Health Education England. You'll see the logo at the top there, NHS Leadership Academy. We've been working very closely with them for the last 3 or 4 years. And what we do is we provide Edward Jenner and Mary Seacole with various programs. We're have a licensing agreement for that. And the NHS Leadership Academy really want to promote apprenticeships within the NHS. They fully recognise the brilliant learning potential and development capabilities that you can get from an apprenticeship. However, they also obviously want to push their programs as well. So we've married the two together. And as you see there, this bullet, because we have the license for Mary Seacole, you don't pay the £997. So should you do the ODM Operations Departmental Manager program, or we also have coaching level 5, it also comes with that. You do not pay the 997. It doesn't come out of your learning budget. It comes out of BPP's pocket. We cover that for you. Okay. So everything else on the program is funded by the levy at Somerset. So you have to make sure you link up with Heidi and Toby. And I'll talk about the process you follow in terms of making sure that you've got the eligibility, plus making sure that you've got the approval of your organisation. Okay, so just a very quick, very small letters. I know you can probably just about read it. The top two in green, you get Mary Seacole. Here it is. ODM there, you get the CMI Chartered Manager status. You don't get it with the apprenticeship, but at the end you can apply for it. And also we're going to talk a bit about the team leader here, which you get the opportunity to apply for CMI Foundation status at the end of that, and you get the Edward Jenner program. Now, because these are leadership programs, the ODM comes with Mary Seacole fully integrated, and team leader, it runs in parallel, but they are integrated. You don't redo any particular areas where there's duplication of effort. Basically, we're really pleased with the way the operations departmental manager is integrated with Mary Seacole. It's a great synergy, and it's really going down well with the learners, I think. So, quick question: what is an apprenticeship? Well, on the job development, I'm sure you're aware of that. You've discussed it with people, but I just want to make sure you've got this to hand when you're reading about what an apprenticeship is and how it takes you forward. From a learner perspective, if you're a learner potentially looking at these programs to take yourself forward, you can see in the bottom orangey yellow box, developing job specific skills, developing and career enhancement, obviously, but you're also getting a great recognized qualification, and you're not having any student debt. You are earning while you're learning while you're earning. I was talking to someone recently who was doing one apprenticeship. They couldn't believe it. I think it was a master's qualification in applied data analytics. He said to me, I can't believe I'm going to do a master's. I'm going to study at work, and I'm going to get this amazing career enhancement, and I've got no student debt. He just couldn't get over how what a great program it is. And I think there are some programs where apprenticeships are better than just learning from a university degree, you know, where you step off and study and then come back to work. I think because you're putting it into practice on a regular basis, I think apprenticeships are a phenomenal way to learn, because you're cementing that knowledge, building up from the bottom like scaffolding, layer by layer, and you're putting it into practice by definition. So really is a phenomenal way to learn. I would say this though, really important for you to understand critically that you're in the right job role to take the right apprenticeships, and we're very diligent about that. I know Toby on the call and Heidi very diligent as well, making sure you're in the right job role, right learner, right job role, right program. We're not a bums on seats organization. We want to make sure you're in the right role and that you can succeed. We don't want to set you up to fail, basically. So I hope that's useful. As an apprentice, you have to really get involved. It's hard work. You're working your day job, but you're also doing development, what we call development time, 6 hours a week on your apprenticeship. Now, it's not quite as cut and dried as leaving for a day, and I'll explain that a bit later. But you do have to really get involved, apply your learning on a daily basis. And you've got various other requirements in terms of making sure you complete the program and you pass and succeed. And you can see there, building your portfolio is a critical part of that from day one. You get taught this, and I'll tell you a bit later how it all works in terms of your induction, but you will get told all of this by your tutors, and you also have a coach who you will meet every 6 weeks, your personal one-to-one coach. We provide you with an opportunity to speak to a subject matter expert and a fully qualified coach who will walk you through any challenges you've got, help you with action plans and so on, and keep you on track. And you can see there, they will help you with the bottom two, but they'll also walk you through the whole program as you go. Now, your line manager doesn't get away scot-free either. They can if they want. It's advisable if they can participate in some of these 6 weekly meetings with the coach, and they're also very important in terms of supporting you and helping you to have opportunities to hone your skills and give you a nice learning environment where you can hopefully develop as you go. So when you get this, you can have a little read of that, and if you're a learner, you can share it to your line manager. If you're a line manager, obviously you can digest it and have a little think about how this takes you forward. So let's get on to the content itself, the material that you're probably here for really, which is learning about these programs. I'm going to start with the Operations Departmental Manager Level 5. This comes, as I said, with the Mary Seacole Leadership Program. Now, I'd like to start with the institute, this slide here, the Institute for Apprenticeships have created this standard with what they call trailblazer organizations. And you can see there some of the organizations that have helped devise this program, what they think a level 5 operations departmental manager looks like. And I think that's a useful slide because you're not learning ODM within the context of the just with the NHS. It's best practice based on a raft of organisations which are internationally recognised. I'm sure, are very familiar with a lot of those, and that's why they've determined that you need to make sure that you are learning. You know, the skills and the knowledge that you're going to pick up are really relevant to someone on a level 5 ODM role. So really powerful. Learn or how to become a manager, you are becoming a manager through the duration of the program. So it really is a great learning model, and you can see there the skills and behaviors you'll be picking up as you go. Operational management, you touch on project management, understanding finance, and how to lead and manage the people in your team, and how to build relationships around the organization with your enhanced communication skills. And over here on the right, these are the behaviors which you enhance through the duration of the program as a byproduct of starting to put into practice these new skills. So you learn the knowledge, you put it into practice as the skill, and then you have the behavioral enhancements as well. So it's a fantastic way to learn and become a very effective operations or departmental manager. So it's a professional development program aimed at building and enhancing your capabilities. It's going to stretch you, definitely 100%. It's a level 5, so it's a foundation degree qualification. We do give you one-to-one coaching, as I mentioned. You need to be in a relevant role. So I'll talk about that shortly, but you need to be in a relevant role. You need to have GCSE English and Maths, and you then need to have either 3 A levels or significant work experience. So you've got to be able to find your GCSE English and Maths certificates or equivalent. We can talk about that on a case-by-case basis. We have search tools, things which can hopefully provide you with some additional chances to find that. We have something called functional skills. I'll touch on that a little bit as well. So it's a 15-month program. There's 12 months plus 3 months EPA. That's endpoint assessment, which is the final qualification, the bit at the end where they assess you to make sure you've delivered on the promise of the apprenticeship and you've been exposed to all the skills, knowledge and behaviours, and you've examples in your portfolio where you've demonstrated that. You come out with the operations departmental manager apprenticeship, and then you have the opportunity to apply for the CMI chartered manager at the end with the skills that you developed, and you get the NHS Leadership Academy Award in healthcare leadership by the right of doing the Mary Seacole program. So who's it for? It's, as I said, a professional development plan aimed at building your capabilities. You see there the entry requirements. You need to be managing a team and or projects and achieving operational departmental goals and objectives as part of the delivery of the strategy of your organization. Okay, you're going to be accountable to more senior managers, and really it's really important to see the key responses up there on the right. You're going to be delivering operational plans, managing people, managing projects, managing change, coaching people, and so on. Really critical that you're in the right role. And as I said earlier, we will be assessing you during the onboarding application process to make sure this is the right program for you. Typical job titles. I know the NHS is a strange beast in terms of job titles, but you'll see there the types of roles you're looking at as an operations manager. Obviously, a departmental manager goes without saying, but there's other roles that you can have within the NHS which can fit that. So don't panic if you can't see your job title over there on the right. Okay. There you can see some of the additional learning benefits, bit of a wordy slide, but you'll see what you're going to learn whilst you're on the program. And I've already touched on those already. So when you get the slide deck, you can have a read of that at your leisure. Really important there, really quite powerful to know that you're going to improve your confidence as a manager. I think that's a really fundamental part of the apprenticeship. As you develop the skills and behaviours that we've talked about already, your confidence will go up and very rapidly you'll be much more effective and efficient, much more capable. Your communication skills are going to improve. It's going to be a really exciting development journey for you. So how's it devised? The learning plan is, as you can imagine, modular. Over the 12 months, you can see that each period you have a new module to learn. At the end of each module, you have an assignment just to demonstrate how you've been putting the skills and behaviours in practice as you go. It's very much a case of learning as you go. These assignments the modules are delivered on an online basis. Everything is delivered online on this program, and the Mary Seacole is also delivered online. And we've now mapped up the NHS Leadership Academy system with our own online learning environment, so it's quite seamless now. So we're quite pleased with that. It's taken a little bit of hard work, but it's very effective. So yeah, you can see the modules you're learning there, and this is going to enhance your skills as you go. And it's very much, as I said, scaffolding. You'll start at the bottom and build up layer by layer as you go to the point where you're ready for the endpoint assessment over here, which is a professional discussion looking at your portfolio with an external organization, DSW. They will assess you. Then they'll look at your what they call a project proposal, where you put together a potential project that you think that your organization is going to benefit from, and you'll present that and they'll question you about that. Nothing to worry about at all. There's a subject between 12 months and 13, if you like. This is a period called Gateway, where you will sit down with your line manager and your coach, and the three of you will agree, yes, you're ready to go through endpoint assessment, to the endpoint assessment. Everything's ready. You've done your hours. You've tracked 6 hours average over every week. You've delivered the project proposals ready. Your professional discussion is ready. You've been rehearsing and so on. So you don't need to panic about, am I ready or not? You get a great deal of support from your coach every 6 weeks. That's just a quick slide, a bit busy, but I wanted to show you how they evaluate you in terms of when you're onboarding. They make sure that you're in the right role. When I showed you this slide, you might find that the sequence of modules is slightly different because of the way Mary Seacole works. So it's really just to help you understand that the Mary Seacole is fully integrated. You're not doing one piece of learning and going off to do something else. It's all interlocked, integrated, and your tutors will steer you towards the Mary Seacole as and when you need to learn it. And as I say, that comes as part and parcel of the program. Your portfolio, you'll be fully updated in terms of when you join the program, what's expected, and your coach will regularly evaluate your portfolio to make sure that it's delivered the right sort of quality, the right sort of depth, the right sort of statements you're including, and so on. So it's a really there shouldn't be any surprises as you go through. Use your coach. Your coach is there as a resource, so really do make sure you use them. And if you are struggling, hold your hand up and say, look, I don't get this, or I'm struggling work-wise, time-wise, personal life-wise, whatever. They are there to support you, okay? So make sure you flag that. Just some examples there of some of the things you can include within your portfolio as work-based evidence. And obviously, make sure you take anything out that makes specific breaks with GDPR, but you'll be taught about that as well. They'll help you. CMI membership, as I said, on completion of the apprenticeship, both the TLS, the team leader, and the ODM, you get the opportunity to then reach out to CMI and apply. And it's a great organisation. It's obviously recognised internationally. You enhance your network, and it helps you improve your management style. And it's just a brilliant qualification, internationally recognised. As I said, it's going to look great on your CV. So this is why I would normally say any questions. If you do have any questions, just to remind you, simoneaston@bpp.com is my email address. Do not hesitate to drop me a line, and I'd be more than happy to answer any specific one-on-one questions. Mary Seacole. So I'm going to touch on this very quickly because time is marching on. It's the leadership program provided alongside ODM, obviously, and its objectives. These are picked from the Mary Seacole NHS website, so you can go and visit that at your leisure. But you can see there it's all basically about improving patient care and patient experience. You'd be surprised how close you are to a patient. People say, I don't speak to patients. Then they realise that they're 1 or 2 steps away from patients. So everything you do has an impact and a ripple effect in terms of improving patient care further down the line. But it also makes you a leader within the NHS. You can see there 12 modules. The 8 numbered 1 to 8 you do in sequence, and the ones on the right, recruitment and selection, appraisals, financial fundamentals, and HR fundamentals, you do them at your leisure whenever you want to dive into those. It's all delivered online. You'll see where these green dots are, green lines. There are online workshops as well. Great fun, apparently. And yeah, it's a really fabulous program. You can see some of the content there, how it would clearly map to the operations departmental manager apprenticeship, and definitely enhances your capabilities. But also, my understanding from speaking to some NHS colleagues, that you have they require Mary Seacole to get a tick in the box to get a certain level of promotion or seniority. So I'm not sure if that's still the case, but if it is, then you will get that through this program and you won't be funding it yourself. So it's a great opportunity. I've also been told recently that Mary Seacole is increasingly difficult to get onto, so I don't know quite what's changing. Don't worry on that front. We have the license and we deliver it with our program, so not a problem at all. And as you see there, top box, ODM and Mary Seacole fully integrated now. So and you see here again where there's breaks in Mary Seacole, it's more busy in ODM and vice versa. So we don't want to overload you. So we really want to make sure you come through this process and success. Yes, you've got assignments. You're measured on your online activity and discussion forums, and there are the 3 workshops I've already mentioned, and you have to provide a reflective assignment. And you see there, that's just reiterated. And at the end, once you've done your assessment on online activity, once you've attended all the 3 online workshops and contributed, you've done your 2,000 word assignment, you then get the completion and you get the NHS Leadership Academy Award, as I mentioned earlier. Really great for your NHS career, I think. So again, any questions, contact me. Team leader supervisor. Now this is a level 3. It's a lower level program, but it's for more people at the beginning of their leadership career, really. And you'll see again, similar slide to the ODM. These are the organizations, the Trailblazer Group, again, where they put together what do we want someone, a level 3 team leader supervisor to look like, what sort of skills, knowledge and behaviors do we think they're going to have. And you see here, you're going to be learning clearly a lot of these common sense. You're going to be leading people, managing, building relationships, improving the operations and the project management's capabilities of you and your team. And you're going to become more aware of your own personal contribution and how you can make an impact within your organization as well. Hence the behaviors at the bottom where you're more professional and you take great responsibility for your performance, the performance of your team. It's a wonderful program in terms of kicking off your leadership career. Okay. Ideally, it's people in the beginning of your career in terms of, sorry, that shouldn't be there. As a current or aspiring manager, you see over here on the right, aiming to build your capabilities. So it's for the beginning of your career. So it's not as advanced as ODM. It's for people that are looking to get into team leader roles. But you do need to lead a team in order to be able to succeed. You can't pass this program. It's nothing against any individual. When we turn around and say, I'm sorry, this isn't the right program for you, it's not because there's anything about the individual. It's just that they're not in the right role. Just to reiterate what I said earlier, we want to make sure you're in the right program. Okay, so really fundamental. And your key responsibilities have to be in those sorts of, as you see, those 6 bullets at the bottom. You need to be managing people, managing projects and so on, and delivering plans. Again, there's the breakdown of the various modules over time. I've just deleted something I shouldn't have, but never mind. So as you see, 12 months again, plus 3 months endpoint assessment, principles of management and leadership, managing a team, daily activities of a team, and so on, all the way through to essentials of people, practice, and managing budgets and resources. We don't want to overload people, so we very much start at the basics and build up your skills later as you go through the program. Endpoint assessment is similar to the previous one, except you have a presentation and you have a professional discussion. Again, this is with your coach, with the help of your coach. They will get you ready, and then same story. After 12 months, you sit down with your line manager and your coach, and they'll determine if you're in the right program. Sorry, if you're in the right readiness for getting onto your endpoint assessment. Okay. So when you get this, you can have a read of how it's developed. The first half, modules 1 to 4, as you can see, is all about managing a team and the fundamental aspects of that. Some of this, if you've got some experience, might be something you've experienced with and you do already. But at the end of each one of these modules, you'll have an assignment where you can demonstrate how you, in your portfolio, and you can do an assignment which you then demonstrate to the endpoint assessing organization, and your tutors will obviously grade it for you and give you a tick in the box, as it were, to make sure that you've demonstrated the capabilities and you've been exposed to those skills, knowledge and behaviors as applicable. So at the end of each one of these modules, you'll do an assignment. That's managing a team, the first 1 to 4 modules. And then the second part is business management skills. You then take that skill and you start to apply the increased performance of your team to a business context. And you'll see, for example, project management. I mentioned earlier about managing data, and of course, managing budgets is a fundamental part of that. It might be resources, and you may not touch budgets, but that will be enhanced skills that you can really fundamentally develop. EPA, it's in the final months, as I said, you go through Gateway. They look at your 8 written assignments, you have your portfolio of evidence, and then at the end, with the agreement of your coach and your line manager, you go through to EPA endpoint assessment, where you have a discussion with the endpointing assessing organization, and you have a presentation with questions and answers, and that will all be made very clear to you as you get to that phase. A little bit of information there about the portfolio. You can read that in due course. And some of the things, again, same with ODM, some of the things that you would include. And just to remind you, you can then apply for the CMI Foundation membership status of CMI. So great qualifications both to have. Edward Jenner, this is not this. It's a lower level leadership program provided alongside the team leader apprenticeship. And again, first port of call if you're looking to build a foundation of your leadership skills. It's a raft of online short courses. It's using the NHS the NHS Leadership Academy online program delivery on their virtual learning environment, and it's for anyone aspiring into a first leadership role. Okay, so those are you can read there some of the key aspects of it in terms of where you're trying to get to with your career. You beginning your journey, and you want to understand how to become a team leader and motivate other people. Okay. Not dissimilar in the sense of the Edward Jenner program outcomes. It's all about improving quality patient care, and this is through leadership within the NHS. Again, you're going to have the team leader skills that you developed and enhanced with the team leader program. It's got program structures, 3 modules. You can see there, what is leadership all about? More broadly, what is leadership in the context of your organization, and how does it impact on the care that the NHS delivers? And then finally, at the end, what does research tell us that are key attributes of the most successful leaders? And then finally, course 3, the leadership difference. You start to look more about yourself and the impact you can have as an individual. Delivered fully online, and you're measured on things. You have active discussions, you have a forum, and then you have a reflective assignment at the end, as I showed you previously with the Mary Seacole, not dissimilar. You've got 3 online modules to be involved in. You contribute to online discussion forums, which is tracked by our tutors in both Mary Seacole and Edward Jenner. They track your performance on that, and they give you a nudge if you're behind. And then you have to do a 1,000-word assignment. And at the end, you come out with the Leadership Academy Award in Leadership Foundations. So again, a great couple of qualifications. ODM with Mary Seacole, and Edward Jenner, you get the leadership of the NHS Edward Jenner program. Program delivery. Now, I've referenced this a couple of times about the fact it's all delivered online. We've been delivering online programs for over 10 years. It was particularly useful, obviously, during the peak of COVID. All of our programs are delivered online in online classrooms. You get a weekly lecture. I think ODM is slightly less frequent than weekly. And you have 2 hours a week of study time around that. But also, I'll talk a little bit about the development time you'll see there some of the things that you can incorporate as part of your development time. It's not like you disappear on a Thursday and come back on a Monday, although we do recommend, if you can, try and ring-fence big chunks of time to allow you to focus on your work. And the more successful people do that. But also, I would also say the more successful people attend these webinars in our hub. They attend live. We track everything you do on our hub. We can see how frequently you've been on, if you've attended the live sessions, if you've watched recordings, and we have tracking tools where we can tell, we can feed back to your organization, to Heidi and to Toby, how people are performing, how they're going against target, and also how often they're attending. And it's no surprise, people who attend the live sessions are the ones that do have the best results at the end of the day, because you're interacting with the material. However, should you miss one, and it's not the end of the world if you do miss 1 or 2 now and then, you can watch the recordings, 24/7 access on any device. So all of the material, everything is recorded in that hub, and it's a really great learning environment. So hopefully that's useful and something you're keen to take advantage of. Okay, so when you come with us, You are welcomed, as I said. There's an induction. You have also a line manager briefing. So the line manager is told what their responsibilities are and what to expect in terms of your learning journey as a learner. And the line managers are informed of what's expected from them as well. Then you have an individual learning plan and you have objectives. And as I say, you start to meet your coach every 6 weeks. Then you have your ongoing support and you meet the coach every 6 weeks. And if you can, at least get your coach to attend once a quarter, your line manager to attend once a quarter if you possibly can. Okay. There's also a huge amount of resources online. And during the online sessions, the live sessions, there's tutor feedback and you can communicate during the lectures. You can also go to a QA questions and answers forum online, and there's a huge amount of information there so you can interact with people on your program as well. You create your portfolio. As I mentioned, we have this monthly reporting where I can feedback about every learner, how they're performing. This isn't trying to catch people out, it's trying to spot trends where if someone's lagging behind, we can put an action plan in place to help you be successful. We really want everyone on the program to succeed, and that's our way of tracking performance and making sure that every learner is progressing as they should be. And if they're not, then we can help you get back on track. Okay. As I said, the virtual campus is there, the hub, all the learning support material is there, and it's really powerful. There's also bi-weekly masterclasses as well, which is useful to know. Everything you need is there, and you also have access to LinkedIn Learning. You have all manner of learning material as well. I think I've done that one. Okay. I think I've done that one. Functional skills. Now, if you can't find your GCSE Maths and English, as I said, both programs require that as a subset of the eligibility criteria. I would say 90+% of the NHS trusts I work with, they do it on a case-by-case basis, but they prefer you to have your functional skills before you start the program. The one thing to think about is this isn't an annual event in the sense that these programs are run every 3 or 4 months. So it's not the end of the world if you've got to do functional skills and you've missed the window. It's not like you've got to wait a year. So it's not like quite such a big panic. Sometimes I get people saying, "Oh, I've missed the deadline," and I say, "Don't worry. There are other, there's an opportunity there for you to take it later." So that's functional skills. Application process. Just to finish this off. As you can see there, the next start for ODM is 13th of June. The deadline is not until the 2nd of May. So you've got a fair chunk of time to think it over, discuss it with your line manager, and contact me if you've got any additional questions. And the team leader, you've got the 15th of July start, again, 3rd of June, you can see there. Now, the application process, as you'd expect, is online, but you do need, before you can apply, I will stress upon you have to speak to your line manager, make sure you get that approval because you need to do 6 hours a week. And you need to speak to Heidi and Toby to make sure that you've got the approval of the organisation and you've gone through the right process. There is an internal process. It's not war and peace, but you do have to pull together a document that outlines and shows your line manager's commitment to making sure they're there for you. Okay. So that's me really. Normally I would say any questions. As a leader, we do also have a program called Data Foundations for Managers. I'm not going to go into too much detail on that today, but just so you know, if you're a user of spreadsheets and reporting tools and things, and if that's an area where you think you can really gain some benefit, we have a program called Data Foundations for Managers, where what we've done is we've taken the technical learning and the blue boxes at the top of this, which is the basic data foundations program using Excel and Power BI. Or ClickView if that's yours, and then you get additional workshops and modules which allows you to apply that as a team leader or a management position that you're in and helping enhance and improve the performance of your team. So that might be something of interest to you if you're a leader as well, maybe now or in the future, so let us know. And yeah, be delighted to speak to you about any of these programs as we go. Just to reiterate, the next step for you if you're interested, first, you come to me if you've got any questions, simoneaston@bpp.com. The next thing would then be to speak to Heidi and say, yeah, I like the look of this. Or by all means, contact Heidi and Toby and say, could you send me the slide deck, which I'll send Toby after this call. And then you can have a good read through and discuss it with your line manager, get their commitment and support. Then contact me and I will send you the link, which you then click on, and just an online application. Now, the deadline, it seems like it's a long way away, but it's amazing how quickly that comes rolling up. So do the sooner you can get things moving, the better, because the internal process takes a bit of time, and then the online process as well takes a little bit of time as well. So anyway, normally I would say questions. I would say to you now, we've said this multiple times today, drop me an email if you've got any questions at all. And yeah, I'm be more than delighted to speak to you. So thank you so much for your time if you made it this far in the recording. And thank you very much, Toby, for hosting. Really kind. Thank you.